Hello and welcome to Test Automation Central. In this video, we are going to discuss on the difference between findElement and findElements. Okay, so let's get started. So before I deep dive into the differences, so just wanted to let you know that I have conducted many interviews, and whenever ask the candidate for the difference between findElement and findElements, they always get confused and they won't be able to answer. For instance, if I ask if there is no element in the DOM, what error it will throw for find element and what happens for find elements. The clear answer is for find element, it will throw no such element exception, whereas for find elements, it will return an empty list. Okay, so in this tutorial, we will discuss in detail and we will give and demonstrate a proper example for these differences, that is find element and find elements. Okay, so let's get started with the introduction. Find element and find elements in Selenium are methods used to locate and interact with web element on a web page. Okay, so let's see the difference in detail. So the very first difference in find element is it locates the first element matching the specified criteria, whereas in the find elements it locates all elements matching the specified criteria. So this looks tricky, like it matches the first element and it matches all elements. So I will discuss in detail with an example where we will use a common expert to show the difference between these two. Okay, so now let's go to the next point, that is whenever there is an element is not found in a DOM structure, find element will throw no such element exception, whereas find elements will return an empty list if elements are not found. Find element we can use for single web element object, whereas find elements we will use for release of web element object. Find element is suitable when we are expecting only one element, and find elements is suitable when we are expecting multiple elements. So how do we initialize both find element and find elements? Okay, so here is an example. Web element is equals to driver dot find element by dot id. We can pass an example id here, whereas for find elements it is list of web elements driver dot find elements by dot class name. You can give a class name here. So let's give a go to demo and we will demonstrate how exactly to tell the differences in an interview, and we will have a thorough example for it. So we will use asmytrip.com for this demonstration. So here we are using the famous tourist attraction. So what we will do is we will print the text of this famous tourist attraction, that is Andaman Kashmir Jaipur. Okay, so let's get started with the code. Before we start writing the code, we will locate the web element. Okay, that is write an XPath. So here just click here on the Andaman. Here we can locate the section class. We have this top desk news. Okay, so let's copy this class, control F and the forward slash two times, then right star, open and close bracket. The class name is equals to top test is the class name. So if you take a look here, we have two elements been located: enjoy fresh travel blocks, and then we have the famous tourist attraction. To get the very first one, open the bracket and close the bracket and just write top one. Okay, if you want the second one, you can write the second one here. That is, yeah. Okay, no, here in this case we want only first one, that is famous tourist attraction. So now we found the section completely. Now we want to have the entire list of this tourist destination. So if you look here, we can see Andaman is a tag. Okay, and if you go for the Kashmir, it is also in the a tag. So what can do is just forward slashes and a. So now if we locate all the tourist attractions here, we can see the total 10 elements. So in the previous slides, when we discuss what's the difference in find element and find elements, when we were discussing, it will return the very first element, right? And in find element it will return a list of web elements. So here if you look here, when we do the find elements, it will return all the 10 elements, but whereas in the find element it will return the very first element, that is Andaman. So let's write the code so that you can understand the difference very clearly. So I already write the code for initializing the WebDriver. So we will write web element element is equals to driver dot find element by dot xpath dot xpath. We'll write the xpath here. Now we'll print the text of that particular to this destination. So write system.out.println element dot get text. So let's run this program, and it initializes the Chrome driver and open the asmessage.com. In the console, we should see the Andaman. So let's see, yeah, so Andaman is printed. That means here when we located the element, so it will always try to return the first element. Okay, so the very first element. If we are using the find elements, so it will return all the elements here. Okay, so now let's write the program for find element. So initialize list of web elements, element list is equals to driver dot. As soon as I press dot, we can see the suggestion that it straight away giving the suggestion for find elements. Okay, so find elements. So we will copy the same XPath here. Just copy, and we will write a for loop. For loop web element e element list. Okay, open the braces. So we'll print the value e dot get text. So here it should print all the tourist destination, that is Andaman, Kashmir, Jaipur. So before that, we will write a print statement for showing the difference for each of this slash slash find element. Okay, so just copy the same thing here, find elements, just to demonstrate the differences here, that it is printing differently. So now let's run this program. So it will open asmystrip.com, and it will straight away print the values. Okay, so now let's minimize this, and we can see here for the find element, it located the very first element. Okay, and for the find elements, it printed all the elements which it found in the list. So now let's discuss what happens when the element is not found. Okay, so what we will do is we will try to write extra, write incorrect XPath. Okay, like section. Okay, it shouldn't be there here. So now let's run one more time. So yeah, so now we can see there is no such element exception is thrown. So now clear this out, this one. Now same thing we will do slash section for the list. Here it should give an empty list. Okay, so for that we will print the value before the loop. So just write element list dot size. Okay, so it should be 0. So now let's run this program one more time. Yeah, so it opened the application here. Now when we see here, so it printed the Andaman and the size is 0. That means it returns an empty list. Okay, thanks for watching Test Automation Central. Follow our channel for more such videos.